So obviously life has changed since the coronavirus and all of the COVID standards, both when it comes to selling homes and as we visit some of our local favorites. So I'm here in Toluca Lake at one of my local favorites because after a day of showing property, it is hot out and they have my ube gelato. It's that purple one right there. It's purple yam, pretty yummy. And I see the owner in the background, Ryan. Hey!
Hi.
How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Good. How have things been going?
Things have been going interestingly. You know, when obviously when COVID-19 happened, a lot of different things have affected not just our business but every business in this country, I should say. I mean, it's affected everyone. I mean, the individuals.
Oh, absolutely.
Having to be sheltering at home and not going to school and doing things like that. But obviously restaurants, have had to adapt. For us, unfortunately, we did have to lay off several of our employees because our sales are cut in half.
Well, you guys were closed initially too, right?
So we closed March 21st. Was our last day of service, which was really great because everyone knew that was going to be our last day. It was insane. We brought staff back that we had kind of furloughed that earlier in the week. We brought them back because we knew it would be our last day. The community came out and supported us, and one family bought 15 burritos.
Oh,
I didn't know it was for a family. I thought it was like someone was buying them for staff or something. And when they showed up, I said, "What are you doing with 15 burritos?" And they said, "We're going to freeze them."
Wow! Oh, that's love. That's love.
So that was great. So then we closed and we reopened about 2 months later on the 27th of May. And we started out, bringing people slowly back, and we built up to about 50% of our staff of what we had pre-COVID.
Okay.
It's a bummer because everyone knew each other and we were very close family, but sadly, some folks haven't been, we haven't been able to hire everyone back.
So I have a question for you because obviously I saw that you guys initially closed because I'm out and about and Essential Services Showing Homes, and now you guys have reopened for about 2 months now, right?
We opened May 27th, so June, July, 2.5 months we've been reopened.
Okay, and it's limited, so there's still no indoor eating?
Correct.
Okay.
We're one of the fortunate restaurants that we do have a patio. It's a small one, but we have seating to accommodate several people, and on the weekends we do get on a wait list, which is great and comforting to know that people are willing to wait to have our food that we've brought to this area. We've introduced some new dishes too coming out of COVID. So those have been very popular as well.
I want to swing to that because I saw you guys have this new chicken menu here. I'm going to flip this around. So tell me about this new Hoppin' Chicken.
So we used to serve dinner up until November of last year. And because our operation is quite small, the amount of food that we actually pump out of our restaurant is quite extensive for the menu that we have and the size of the kitchen that we have. And the dinner business was putting a lot of pressure both on our staff but also on our storage space. So we shut down in November. We retooled, and my business partner and I, Jim, he and I decided let's come up with a concept that could work just at night. And so over December we brainstormed and came up with Hoppin' Chicken by Red Maple Cafe. And basically we were going to be Red Maple Cafe from 8 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon, close for an hour, and then reopen from 5 till 10 o'clock at night with Hoppin' Chicken.
Nice.
And we sampled out the Ruby's signature chicken sandwich that we created over January and February, got a lot of positive, great feedback. And then we got all of our signage, we were ready to go. And then we were gonna launch this as our dinner business in March, and then COVID-19 happened. Obviously, that put a change of plans for everything.
And so I just wanted to show everyone the patio right behind us a little bit.
Well, all the tables and chairs get sanitized after each use. And so people know when they come that we've already gone through that sanitization process of the tables and the chairs.
Perfect. And then there's been some changes here right on this block I've seen as well. There was I don't want to say a restaurant, but the Soup Goddess. You were sharing with me before that you guys are now carrying Soup Goddess. So tell me a little bit more about what happened with Soup Goddess.
So Lizzie and Dylan, who own Soup Goddess, basically transitioned from a retail location to a food service wholesale business. And so we're excited because we've worked out a deal to carry Soup Goddess's various soups. as well as her famous and delicious cheese crack, which you'll be able to get on our new seasoned crinkle cut fries, as well as our breakfast potatoes. So, and then we're also going to be carrying some cool things, some of additional vegan dishes that we didn't carry before, things like untuna, unchicken, unsandwiches, and then wraps. We're going to now have a grab and go counter, which we did not have before. So that's something new as well. We've already started carrying her soups. We're going to be adding 2 more, so we'll be carrying 4 on a daily basis.
Nice.
And they're just delicious. I mean, made from scratch. It is, we're extremely excited, happy that we could support her and carry on what she had already started here in the area. She has a very loyal fan base.
Yeah.
And so I know she's happy that her customers can continue to get her products here locally. And she'll be in grocery stores too soon as well.
Very exciting addition for you guys. And of course, you know, especially in the warmer months, I can't help but come for my ube.
Ube are still our number 1 seller. We've added some new flavors since we reopened. We added coconut almond fudge, which is one of my new favorites. Okay. We've also added Nutella. We've added cookie butter, and we're working on some other ones as well. So you can get. We've modified our hours. I mean, I should let people know that. So now we are open 10 to 4 every day but Monday, serving our amazing breakfast and lunch favorites. All day from 10 to 4, as well as our gelato and all of our coffee, amazing stuff. And then we stay open an extra hour Tuesday through Friday for Hoppin' Chicken. So you can get that chicken all day as well as an extra hour. And then we are closed Mondays, sadly, but we have decided to take a breather because wearing these every day, 6 days a week, coming in at 8 o'clock in the morning, all the way up till 6 o'clock at night, it's a lot.
As we walk down the corner, because you have right behind us Red Maple, and then you have the front part facing Riverside, which is your poke place, right?
Correct. So we've been open over 3 years, and after our first year in business, we noticed that our number 1 seller was our ahi poke bowl in our cafe.
Yep.
And anyone that looks at data like that, you go like, well, what can we do? How can, we had our gelato coffee bar up here.
Right.
And we decided that we were gonna, go to the owners and ask them, hey, can we swap this out and change it into a poke place?
Right.
And move our gelato back to our cafe.
Which is still so yummy.
Yeah, so the ube.
The ube.
So they said yes, which is great, and then we started building a whole new concept called Corner Poke by Red Maple Cafe. You get different types of fish up here. We have 7 different sauces, all made in-house from scratch, different bases, and also fresh produce, toppings and so forth. So this has been now open 2 years, and plugging away. Obviously, we've modified. You can see we've modified some hours because of COVID.
Right.
And the big thing about this space is that it's takeout only. So when COVID-19 happened, and all the studios, Warner Brothers being a block away, these tall towers behind us, those guys are working from home.
Right.
And so we don't have as much
traffic.
Of the takeout traffic that we used to.
Right.
So, for us, what we do is we actually tell people to come to the cafe, and they can also order online, and then we just send someone up to make the bowls.
So you did all of that, you've adopted it, you've let people know it's basically takeout, and then the Soup Goddess, which you are now carrying, was right next door, correct?
Correct. So right immediately next door in the same building, our friend Soup Goddess, they have, like I said earlier, transitioned into a wholesale food service business.
Yeah, it's kind of
So they just went out of business about a week ago is when they transitioned, and where we decided to work with them to carry their soups and various vegan items. But as you can see, there's construction starting.
Yeah.
And what we've learned from our owners of the building is that they have decided to rent this space next to us to Sweetfin Poke.
So another poke place.
Another poke place.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yes, we basically get to share a wall with a competitor. So it's been a little interesting, a little challenging mentally.
So I get that this is COVID times, and this is challenging times. But hello, commercial business owners, renting next door to a competitor, that's not the way to go. Are you trying to put your clients out of business?
And I don't know what their ulterior motives are. I mean, none of us know. The interesting thing is that Sweetfin actually approached us to buy our business prior to deciding to go into this space next door, and offered us pennies on the dollar, and we said no because they came to us, and we know what our space is worth and the business that we've built up over the last 2 years. And then ultimately, once we notified them that we weren't going to sell our business for pennies on the dollar, 3 days later, the landlords called to tell us that they were going to put Sweetfin next to us. So yes, a little stressful at this time.
But the good news is that you are still open.
Yeah, Red Maple's still open.
The food is still delicious.
Hoppin' Chicken is open.
The new menu is amazing.
Yes, you got to try the fried chicken, lemon velvet Belgian waffle with the ube mascarpone.
So good, so good. And you guys have put out more seatings on the weekend on the sidewalk as well.
Yep. Doing everything we can to, bring even more. But we just brought we just hired another employee, so we're now back up to 8, which is great. So we just brought on another employee. So, I mentioned earlier, we had 14 pre-COVID. We were 7 up until just this week. We're adding another employee. So, as business continues to grow and we're able to, continue to bring more staff back on, we want to do that. Obviously it's hard to do that if, I don't know how 2 pokey places next to each other can ultimately operate effectively for the greater good of both businesses. But again, we will see.
Well, may the best man win. And you guys, if you have not been to Red Maple or haven't been during COVID, Red Maple is still open. Amazing, great food as always. And hours are a little reduced, which I'll
10 to 4 every day, but Monday.
And I'll list that below. But come by because it's
Please.
still amazing. Thank you so much for chatting with me today.
Thanks, Corrie.